Hey folks, today we're going to talk about why buyers should practice patience and then get into the latest home prices and insights for Peel and Durham for week ending March 29th, 2023. We recently sold a property. Let me tell you right at the beginning what happened. When the offer comes in, it's routine that I call the agent representing the buyer to find out as much detail as I can. I review contents that are in the offer. I ask about the buyer and their situation, their financing, whatever I need to know to have enough information about the offer that when I speak to my client who's the seller, I could really give them a good overview of here's where we are. So in speaking to the agent that's representing the buyer's agent, I find out that the buyer is pretty frustrated. They have missed out on the last 3 to 4 offers they've put in over the last 2 to 3 weeks. They've competed in multiple offers each time. I also sense the frustration in the agent's voice who's been helping this client to try to buy. And it seems buying agent and client, a buyer, are just frustrated. Excuse me, they're just frustrated. They basically gave me tons of ammunition that would give me the upper hand in the negotiation. And in fact, that's the way it played out. They ended up buying the property that we were selling, but we had the upper hand, my side, my client. The seller had the upper hand because of the information that this buying agent is telling me. And so I'm telling you this story because let me tell you who pays the most on offer night. Usually the buyer that is the most emotionally attached to the outcome is the one that pays the most, usually. This example is not for the buyers that absolutely have to buy in a week or two or they're going to be homeless, because they have a genuine pressure on them that they need to buy something. This is not for the buyer looking for that one specific special home that if they don't buy this one, there's no chance another one like it will ever come up again. I'm not talking about those rare special cases. I'm talking about the buyer that wants to buy. And whether they buy this month, next month, the month after, it doesn't matter. However, they put this pressure on themselves that this is the house, this is the house. That's the buyer who pays more. Usually when I start working with buyers in the consultation phase early up front, the buyer will often tell me, we're not in a hurry, we're going to buy the right house when it makes sense. And I say, wonderful, that's the best way to be. You'll only make a decision if it makes sense and it's what you want to do without pressure. But then when we start looking what was, we got 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, whatever it takes, kind of quickly starts changing because they get excited, they get emotionally attached. And I say, guys, look, we're going to try, but this is our number. We're not going to go past it. Let's not, have this. And don't worry, if we don't get this, there'll be other opportunities. Let's not be so emotionally attached. My wife has a great expression in this example. Don't act like it's the last Coca-Cola on the shelf. Don't act like this home is the very, very last home, and if your world is going to change if you don't get it, there'll be another one. There'll be other opportunities. Make smart moves. What's going to help you is working with the right realtor also that doesn't have the same pressures that you have, that, oh man, they have to get this house for you. Because I'm telling you, if the listing agent on the other side is experienced, they're going to read those signals and squeeze you for as much as you got, or worse, more than you can afford, and that's where people make mistakes. So practice patience if you're a buyer. Look, things will work out. Work with the right buyer's agent on your side and practice patience. If you think this video can help somebody please pass it along. If you enjoy this content, subscribe. Let's get into the numbers. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. This way I'll know ahead of time and I'll make sure my schedule's organized so we can talk about whatever's on your mind. And just to add a little bit more to what I was saying before the intro song, that whole part about not being so emotionally attached to the conclusion, I realize it's a lot easier said than practiced in real life. Let's see what's going on in Mississauga, Brampton, and Durham. For Brampton and the Durham region, prices are up. Mississauga, they've been kind of flat the last few weeks. This is for detached properties only. Let's look at Mississauga. 43 detached properties were sold in Mississauga. 5 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price came down from the previous week to $1,449,000. $1,449,000 is 15% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. Now, this is this year's pricing, kind of flat over the last few weeks. This time last year, prices were coming down quickly in Mississauga. The median price of $1,355,000 is 14% lower than where the median price was a year ago. And both average price and median price have been, since the beginning of February, going up, and kind of seems that they've flattened out over the last few weeks right now. Of the 43 that sold, more than half, 51% sold at list price or more. Listings, we would expect listings to be going up. 73 detached properties were listed for week ending March 29, but slowly listings seem to be coming down, which if that trend continues and sales even just stay where they are, market's going to become tighter and tighter. And it's already tight with more than half selling at list price or more. Months of inventory, same as the previous week, sitting at 1.4. If we go back to the beginning of February, months of inventory has been on a slow decline. As months of inventory get tighter and tighter, smaller and smaller, the market gets tighter and tighter, prices will tend to get higher and higher. More competition out there. Here's Brampton. 65 detached properties were sold. 1 of those was at $2 million or more. Average sold price jumped up from the previous week to $1,291,000. $1,291,000. We've got to go back to May, June last year to be at the same average sold price. $1,291,000 is 15% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. The median price of $1,280,000 is 12% lower than the median price a year ago, and both median price and average price since the end of February has been on a slow incline. It's been going up slowly, increasing slowly. Of the 65 that sold, close to half, 46% sold at list price or more. 95 were listed, which is down from the previous couple of weeks. And months of inventory, same as Mississauga in a sense that it stayed the same from the previous week, but it is lower, sitting at 0.9, which is lower than what it is in Mississauga. And also, months of inventory has been slowly coming down, and the tighter, the lower and smaller the months of inventory is, the quicker we're going through the properties that are listed, and you'll see prices going up as months of inventory get shorter and shorter. Here's Durham region. Now for Durham, I'm using Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby as my Durham sample. Detached properties only. 55 detached properties were sold. The last time we did more than 55 detached properties sold in a week, we've got to go back to the end of June last year where we hit 63 in 1 week. So 55 were sold. 2 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price, no surprise, has gone up, now sitting at $1,232,000. 1,232 is 9% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. This year, prices are going up since we can go all the way back to the beginning of February. Prices have been going up. This time last year, prices were on an aggressive decline. So they're kind of coming together, it seems. Median price of 1,187 is also 9% lower than where the median price was a year ago. And both average price and median price have been increasing. And it's not so gradual. It's actually a bit of an aggressive type of increase. Of the 55 that sold, 62% sold at list price or more. 82 were listed, and months of inventory, I put an exclamation mark there. 0.6 is the months of inventory, and it's been this low between 0.6 and 0.7 since the beginning of March, so the last 5 weeks or so. But even before that, we had 1 week it went up, and again, middle of February, it was 0.7, and you could see prices starting to go up quite a bit in the Durham region. Here's condos for all of Peel region. 49 condos were sold. One of those was at $1 million or more. Average sold price is up from the previous week, sitting at $633,000. 633 is 12% lower than what it was a year ago. The median price of $595 is 16% lower than where the price was a year ago. So year over year, condo prices much lower. But that was a year ago. What's happening right now? Well, since middle of February, median price and average sold price, you could see them. It's not that aggressive, but price has been increasing. That's the trend we're on. Prices are going up, not just for condo, for the detached market also, for the semi-market, for the townhouse. Overall, prices are trending upwards over the last 2 months or so. Condos, that's what's happening. Of the 49 that sold, about a third, 33% sold at list price or more. 83 condos were listed, and months of inventories sitting at 1.4. And if we go back to the beginning of the year, it has been coming down since the beginning of the year to now. Here's a quick summary. I kind of spell this out here a bit. Anything below 4 months is a seller's market. Between 4 and 6 months of inventory is a balanced market. Above 6 months of inventory is a buyer's market. And because we've been so used to, especially when we talk about, beginning of last year, the peak, months of inventory was so low that when we got to kind of about 2.3, 2.5, close to 3 months of inventory, it kind of felt like a buyer's market. Technically, at 4 months or so, we're a buyer's market, but we're nowhere near that. We're at 1.4, 0.9, 0.6 months of inventory. We're nowhere near a buyer's market. We are very much in a strong seller's market right now. And that's what some people are struggling with, because there's a lot of mixed signals out there. If you're buying, if you're selling, what's going on? Interest rates are up. Oh, there's going to be a recession. There's all sorts of signals out there pointing you one way, then the other. I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm telling you what's happening right now in real estate, and in this situation for Peel and Durham, prices are going up. But you'll find anywhere in the GTA right now, generally speaking, prices are going up. Lots of competition out there. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.